inside of you. I like everything from. I loved the Faces a lot. I love the Faces. I still love the Faces, and but I love that. But I also really, really liked like Dolly Parton. Her songwriting is so good and just superb. Her lyrics are really beautiful. I love the simplicity of them, because what it allows, she's telling a story, but it allows the listener to live their own story too. Right. And it's one of the things, her stories aren't complicated. They're just beautiful and simple, and it's just really perfection. and her melodies are great too. So I always really love, Jolene is my favorite record ever.
That's a good one too.
It's really, really a good record. The whole record. I know Jolene's a great song and all, but when I listen to that record, there are all of these other gems that that are so great on that record, they're really good songs. So I really like that one. So yeah, I always liked a really broad range of music. Do
you have the secret sort of genre that nobody knows you listen to? Because you hang out in some of the bluegrass, the country, the fiddle, the
Cajun music.
Yeah,
I grew up in Louisiana, so yeah, what I play is Cajun music based. It's a it's a roots music, but I'm just a really big believer in, because I love that tradition and that culture so much, and I'm such a fan and so in awe of it. But I also at the same time feel like that tradition has to I feel like you have to push those boundaries a little bit in order to make it survive, because people don't stay the same. They change, and and I feel like if I tried to just do straight up just traditional Cajun music, there's no way I'd ever be able to compete with some of the greats, all the people who've done it, so far. So I my music's based in Cajun music, and I write songs.
Yeah. So you don't secretly go home and crank up the heavy metal every once in a while?
No, I'm super real. I've always been clear. I like genres on both sides, super really. I've always really liked, like I said, the Faces, which is, Rod Stewart's so great, and what I love about that band is that, nothing in particular, just in my humble opinion, but, you can't pinpoint and be oh, that riff is so sick, or be but all together collectively, you've got these individuals who are super, just talented and rambunctious, and it's not, I guess what I'm trying to say, it's not somebody sat through and it's oh well, this is how this is gonna go, it's not super technical, but it's fun and it's energetic, and it's really just a unique just young, it feels really young, and it's just, I feel like it's what youth sounds like, that's what it feels like, and I just love, and especially when you go on YouTube and you watch some of their videos of them performing, they're having the best time of their lives, Rod Stewart's up there kicking around a soccer ball or whatever, and those guys are super cool. I've always really liked those records too.
So what did your parents listen to growing up?
My mom and dad always had, they always showed me a really broad range of music too, my mom always, everything, some days it'd be, she'd be cleaning the house and it'd be Toots and the Maytals or whatever, and then the next day it might be the Faces or and that kind of thing. So she always had a lot of different kind of music, around the house. So,
but all kinds of genres. It wasn't just.
Yeah, no, yeah. My mom's always been pretty open and supportive, and I think she's just always been cool. As far as nothing's ever been oh, that's off limits. You're not listening. You know what I mean? She's never been that type of parent or anything like that. She. It just was whatever the mood was that day. It was always different in the house. The music was always different.
That's cool. So they've encouraged you from day one, right?
Yeah. Some days it'd be Nora Jones. Some days it'd be Toots and the Maytals. It literally was just any day it could be anything. It could be anything.
And have you grown up New Orleans all your life?
Yeah, I grew up in Louisiana, right outside of New Orleans.
So you've been in a music mecca forever.
Yeah, so my parents don't play music at all. They don't play music. I I was watching TV one day and I saw an orchestra and they showed the violin, and I was just like love at first sight. I was like, that's what I want to do. I was like, that's. I just got, I felt like I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like that looks cool and it makes sense.
But you've even come a long way from the violin because you play it fiddle style, right? So
I do.
What's
so
the
my mom
difference?
took me, since my parents don't play music, my mom, she took me we lived in Hammond at the time, and she took me to Southeastern University, and, they had student teachers and stuff, and she basically was like, my daughter wants to play, and they started out with like a student teacher, the first semester, a student teacher teaching me, and like she didn't even know that violins come in sizes or anything like that, so I had to like go get measured and all that kind of stuff, and then after the first semester, my teacher, he saw me, that was when I met him, and he saw me, and I was like 4. I started when I was 4, so I was like 5, I guess, at that time, and then at the end of the semester, he approached my mom, apparently. I don't remember this, but this is her version of the story. And he was like, oh, I want to teach your daughter. I think she has something special. So he took me under his wing, and it started out as, one class for 30 minutes, and then, it turned into like twice a week, and then after a couple years of taking lessons, it was like I literally was like I was like practicing like on my own, and my mom never had to ask me to practice, but like on my I'd go practice for 2 hours, and then I would also have to go to lessons, and then on Saturdays I would play in the student orchestra, and like it was just like violin was life at that point. So.
When did you figure out you were good at it? I mean, we're just breaking stuff over here for those that are watching.
It's rock and roll in here, so just
How long till you figured out like you were good at it?
Oh, I don't think I've ever figured out if I'm good at it or not. I think that's the thing about musicians. One time I was talking to a friend of mine, who he does scores for movies, and I remember specifically one time him saying like the musician mentality is this like, I'm great, I suck factor, because that's the way I feel like, and I totally got it, and I think any musician out there would totally know what I mean whenever it's like, I'm great, and then it's like the next day it's like, oh my god, I suck, I'm great, I suck,
Right.
Every day is like the challenge of having, a good idea, then you have a good idea, and then it's like the next challenge of having a good idea.
It's an uphill battle all day long.
So, yeah.
Okay, so for those that don't know, who are you, and how did you're here in Florida for a really good reason, by the way.
Yeah, so my name is Amanda Shaw. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I play the fiddle, and I am currently in Pensacola on my Soulful Sessions Tour. The Soulful Sessions Tour was born out of an idea I had. I released a song called Soulful Dress, and I wanted to celebrate the release of the song in a less traditional type of way. I wanted to do something different than like a regular record release party, and I thought it would be really fun. As someone that has worked a long time in the festival scene, I've done a lot of traveling to festivals and big stages and things like that, which are really fun and great, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, but I felt like, I've never really been able to do a tour where it was just really intimate, and it was just a way, and I just wanted to be able to like be in these smaller rooms, and just me and my guitar player, and really share the songs. I recorded a full record back in April. I went into the studio and I have a full record, but before I release any of the other songs, I wanted to share with my fans. I wanted to share the songs first, because when something goes on the internet, it's like it's like everybody else's, it's not yours anymore, and I still wanted to try and create that intimate connection that I feel like the fans and musicians have. So I wanted to do the Soulful Sessions Tour, and I felt like that was the best way to do it, is to do these intimate rooms and these and then these acoustic performances to share the whole album, and I'll be playing the album before they actually come out, so that I can really pass them on before the rest of the world. So that's why the Soulful Sessions are happening, and then the one in Pensacola tonight is actually especially special because we are going just a week ago, Hurricane Irma came through the Florida area, and knowing that I was going to be coming to Pensacola, I had the idea that we should give some of the ticket sales monies to victims of Hurricane Irma. So I'm really fortunate that the Imogene Center decided to work with me on this, and that they've supported me. And yeah, tonight we will be giving a portion of the ticket of the proceeds to hurricane victims, Hurricane Irma victims.
Have you been to the Imogene Theater?
I have not. No.
So wait till you see this thing. It's like, it is original, historic vaudeville style. It's all natural wood. It is. The sound in there is going to be fantastic. So
awesome. I'm really excited. And, it's so far been really fun, like, doing this string of, and it's just, along the Gulf Coast, because that's really where, I've grown up playing a lot. It's along the Gulf Coast here. I've done a lot of festivals and things here. So it's pretty awesome. And all the rooms so far have been it's been really fun.
Well, I think there's something to be said about you just wanting to share the music as it is, right, before it gets electrified and amplified and processed or put through effects and things like that, and to just let the story sort of tell itself. I think that's very, very noble of you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, it's I'm just really proud of this particular set of songs. I really, really like them, and I mean, when I listen to, I have the masters at my house, and when I listen to them, I'm like, oh, like, sometimes it's one of those things that, you're just working and you're just doing your thing, and, it's like I had a moment this past week where I was listening to the song, and then subconsciously I told myself, I was like, oh, that's really good, and then, like, it had to actually dawn on me. I was like, oh, that was a good idea. Like, we did a really good thing, and it was really a particularly fun project to work on, this particular record, because it just felt different the whole time. Nothing of it was, hard work. Not in the sense that obviously you go into the studio and you work hard, but none of it was like so challenging. Sometimes you get into the studio and you have like a day where you're like, maybe a song isn't going the way you wanted it to, or maybe your voice isn't like, doing what you want it to. But everything about this, I felt like every day we went in, we worked 12, 13, 14-hour days, but they flew by. And it just felt fun the whole time, the songs were fun. My guys, who've been working with me for a long time, but I felt like we all had fun. Zach Loy, who is the producer of this record, is a friend of mine, so we had fun. We've been friends for a few years now, and that always makes it more fun. Everything about it just felt really fun. We were at Esplanade Studios, which we had never recorded at before, and it's a gorgeous studio, and it felt good, and he's got like an awesome like kitchen and smoothie maker and stuff down. So like,
just like a
I was able to like sneak downstairs and like, oh, we like make a salad now or whatever. And it was like fun. Like everything about it felt great. So, and the songs sound good. And I'm so like, everything came out exactly the way I dreamed them to be, because sometimes the songs, once they get into the musician's hands, sometimes they take a life of their own, and for the better a lot of times, but these actually really came out like when I was like writing the songs, and because when I write, I try to think about like, oh, this is how the finished product I want it to be, or, this is like my overall idea, and like every idea I had actually came to fruition, like every single one. And I feel like as a musician, like, or as an artist, you really can't ask for anything better.
I would agree with you. Yeah. Okay, so for those that don't know how well you're about to kill it on this on this fiddle, by all means play something and let's let them hear what you got. So.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm gonna play a tune. Like I said, I play. Mostly my music is based in Cajun music. I'm really passionate about it. For fiddle nerds or Cajun music nerds, you'll definitely know the name Dennis McGee. He's like godfather of like all the Cajun fiddle tunes that like all the fiddle players play now. Like you definitely have at least a handful in your repertoire. Like, and Dennis McGee one time, because people ask me all the time, what's the difference between a violin and a fiddle? Yeah, people ask me that all the time, and so I always tell them, what Dennis McGee said, and Dennis McGee said, the difference between a violin and a fiddle is that a violin is carried in a case and a fiddle's carried in a rice sack.
Yeah, there you go.
So he's been passed now for a long time, but this is one of his tunes. I'm going to play I guess I'll play a song called Paradigm Two-Step. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay,
Thank you.
so because I know you got to get to the theater here shortly, but what time does the show start tonight?
Tonight my show I think is at 7. I think every day I wake up and I'm like, okay,
What I'm supposed
where
to be
am
somewhere.
I going?
Where?
What's going on? What's my name? I don't know. What year is it? We'll see. But yeah, tonight is at Imaging Center, and it's 7 o'clock. And yeah, if you come out, you've got, you're going to be not only enjoying a concert by me, but you will also be helping out victims of Hurricane Irma. So if you have the time and you have, obviously, it's great, just a little bit to be able to share with people who really need it right now.
Yeah, definitely. So, okay, so if anybody else wants to, if they can't make it tonight, but they want to find out more information, where can we send them?
Well, obviously we have Facebook, we have Instagram. I definitely welcome stalkers all the time. That's what it is. Let's just call it what it is. But I really do. I love to stay in touch, and that's, we always update people on our Facebook and Instagram, Amanda Shaw. And amandashaw.com, you can go to my website, and we have an email sign up, and I like to put fun pictures and stuff, so
Very
you can
cool.
go check out Instagram, because I'm always... Instagram story is like my jam, so as a matter of fact, today I was like having fun with it, so I definitely am always updating the Instagram. I don't know why, I just like the filters, I like the typing, that's just my jam. So
Is your show schedule on there?
Yeah, my schedule's on Facebook and on my website, and then on Instagram. We've got our website link up. So
awesome. Well, I want to thank you for coming here and hanging out with me for a good 45
Oh, thanks so
minutes.
much for having me.
Yeah.
It was so fun, and the weather's really pretty. I'm like looking
nice
at it
over
out here. It's like really, really pretty. So.
Do you got one you can kind of take us out with?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. AmandaShaw.com. I'll see y'all real soon.
That's awesome. Nice job.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. See y'all soon.
Sweet. All right. That was cool. That was killer.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for making time and for doing this.
You are good to go.